I saw them driving in. Hello. Hello.
I think I'll get it off you.
Should be doing this on the referee one.
Judy officer, what did you do? What did you have to do?
I just watched the game. Have to make sure the crowd
Thank you, mate. Thank you, sir. Just show the person. This was the reserve guy here.
I don't know who's this. Sophie Stafford's our captain.
Oh, really?
I know, I'm kind of tempted to stay and watch it for a bit, to be honest. Oh my god, it's freezing. Because I just sit outside in the shade, I'm like, oh my god.
Sydney is the worst we were in Sydney, and it was freezing cold, and we were out yesterday till 11:30. The last day of visit yesterday.
Oh yeah, how was it? We've never been.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, people were saying apparently it's not as good as the last 2 years or something.
Ah.
Right? Yeah. It's still good. Lots of rides. I mean, you got a lot more things. Apparently, you could go. There were these Samsung booths where you could go for a photo, and your photo will come up on the big screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some cool stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how you get it. It was too fun. Like I had to wait an hour to get a training that was used to
amazing, Aya. Well done. Oh, last week. Oh, I think it's like this one. Where's your jumper? Mum's got it. I wonder who's taking my spot. We both got our phones, so I can't even check. Alright.
Okay, alright, mate.
Have fun. Girls, make sure we cheer first.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cook Square Park. announced for today's National Premier League Women's fixture between the Maitland Magpies and Charlestown Azzurri. I begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather here today and pay my respect to elders both past, present and future. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples here today. Maitland Football Club and Northern New South Wales Football would like to remind all players, team officials and spectators of the strict zero tolerance policy regarding the abuse of match officials. We are dedicated to maintaining a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone involved, free of intimidation or abuse. We kindly ask that all individuals show respect towards officials, as the game would not be possible without their vital contribution. Quick acknowledgement of the sponsors while we wait for the teams to take the part. Club sponsors: East Maitland Bowling Club, Burton Automotive, the George Tavern, Thompson Clark Real Estate, PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, the Mutual Bank, Gardelman Wine, Cranos Construction, Riverbend Organics, Nat Fitness, Orica, Motion Group, Origin Projects, Alto Imaging, Dollboys, East Coast Air, Kelly Partners, Osfire Compliance Services, Fitzgerald Plumbing, Quarry Mining, Drop-In Espresso Bar, Little Twin Bars, Hunter Home Renovations, East Maitland Conveyancing, Baker Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, Wild Flame Restaurant, Kiss Creative, The Sign Shop, AV Chartered Accountants, All World Services, McGregor Finance Group, Nivec Industries, Poolside Hunter Valley, Crichton's Funeral Service, Hunter Outdoor Equipment, Earley's Butchery, Physio Studios. Our individual player sponsors for the NPL Women: Georgia Amos, Drop-In Espresso Bar, Georgia Murphy, Right Sign, Ella McDonald, Orica, Kiara DeGeorge, Holistic Group Constructions, Lucy Pratt, Ray White Real Estate, Summerland Point, Will O'Neill, Planet Lighting.
Here is he. Was he just talking about you?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Good things, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You like my shirt? I love being wagged. It's so good. Good fun. What's going on?
Chipping away.
Chipping away.
Through football.
Another day, another night.
Lots of football. What's happening? Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Where else would you rather be?
Oh, probably anywhere else.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was getting to a point with Zany on Wednesday night where it was getting
Yeah,
cold and long at Western.
Yeah. So screw that. I want to go.
It's a good day.
Good game.
Good scenes.
Yeah, good ending. It's always good scenes.
Yeah, both teams good.
It's good that I'm glad Magic lost, that's for sure.
It's just
I
nice to see
like
some
an
new
underdog
teams
story.
going too.
Yeah, they're just new teams, Cooks Hill and Western. Both haven't made it before, so good to see.
It'll be interesting to see what Western do if they get to, well, both of them if they get to host, because neither of their grounds.
Yeah.
And the lights last night at Fernley Doors at the end of the game.
Yeah, Cooks Hill will go to number 2. They'll make it a spectacle out of it. Actually, they'll probably
They
do
need a bit
both.
more lighting in there though, I think.
Yeah. And number 2.
Yeah.
That'll be
It depends if they
league
get a match of the day or not.
Yeah.
And then I suppose Western will just go to Cessnock or Maitland.
Probably going to Maitland. Although that'll be interesting.
Cessnock paint the grass again.
I hope they're not wearing a white kit, that's for sure.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cooks Square Park. It is Northern New South Wales women's NPL match of the round, and it's a proper top-of-the-table showdown as the Maitland Magpies play host to Charlestown Azzurri. It is the unbeaten versus the unstoppable, defensive steel versus attacking firepower, and just 3 points separate them at the summit of the ladder. Maitland are yet to taste defeat in the league, but the Blues did knock them over in the League Cup final, a 3-2 result that surely stung today's home side. Coach Joe Wright says they've learned from that loss, they've moved on from the mistakes, and today is about getting back to their brand, their tempo, and taking the 3 points. One boost is the return of midfielder Josie Morley to full minutes after that remarkable return from her ACL injury and already making an impact. They've also got Paige Kingston-Hogg coming off the bench, the former A-leaguer, adding impact to the Magpies squad. For Charlestown, a few questions over their personnel, with Melina Ayres out of action and Maddie Gallegos coming in under a fitness cloud. But make no mistake, they're flying. 6-0 and 5-0 wins in their catch-up games in the last week, and Coach Heath White believes momentum is king. He's expecting an open, tactical, high-speed game, and honestly, that's what it presents as. I'm Chris McPherson, bringing you all of the action. I'm joined by Alana Neve, Northern New South Wales Football's General Manager of Participation and Women's Football. This is the league's best defence against its most dangerous attack. Let's see who blinks first. Alana, what are you looking forward to today?
I'm just looking forward to a great game of football. I mean, they're both, as you say, very expensive attacking teams, and it's going to be really exciting to see who gets on top today.
Well, as you say, they are expansive and attacking teams. It's going to be very interesting to see who can land that first punch. It's going to be crucial to get that momentum. It'll be interesting to see whether both sides come out bullet a gate from the start or whether it's a little cagey in the opening.
That's it. I mean, there could be a little bit of nerves, and obviously this is a match that, Maitland has been undefeated in regular season, but of course Charlestown got one of them recently in the cup match. So yeah, we'll see who starts the match first.
Well, certainly a lot better weather when they played in that cup final at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility a few weeks ago on a Sunday evening, where it was fairly heavy rain for most of the game, and we did have a fairly healthy crowd braving those conditions. The conditions here a little cool, but dry, clear, and bathed half the pitch in sunshine. As we said, the referees lead our two teams out. And let's take a look at how the two sides do line up. For Charlestown in goals will be number 16, Danny Bartels. Number 3 is Chloe Martin. Number 4, Georgia Brown. Number 6, Alyssa Togo Paragilli. Number 9 is Jana Fraser. Number 11, Chloe Catley. 14 is their leading goal scorer in Maddie Gallegos. 17, Callista Hunter. 21, Holly Vittnell. 28, Chelsea Lucas, and 57, their most recent signing, Morgan Witts. Their substitutes will be number 1, Mally Blanche, number 2, Kyra Dickey, number 7, Gemma Simon, number 8, Brianna Williams, and number 32, Sienna Fraser Kelly. They are coached by Heath White. While for the home side, Maitland FC, as I said, almost at full strength. They have Annabella Thornton in goals. They have Keely Gorthrop in jersey 4, Lana Kearney in jersey 7. Number 8 is Sophie Nanardovic. Number 10, Josie Morley. Number 11, their captain, Sophie Stapleton. 15, Will O'Neill. 17, Serena Carter. 18, Talia Gosner. 23, Georgia Amos. And 35, their South African international, Mary Enswing. Their substitutes, number 2, Charlotte O'Connor. 3, Julia Innes. Number 5, Paige Kingston-Hogg. Number 9, Sophie Jones. Number 20, Tori Campbell. And number 22, Georgia Williams. And they are coached by Joe Wright. You see the teams go through the last of their pre-match rituals. The handshakes are done. We're ready. We're set. The good news, as I said, for Maitland is that both Mary Enswing and Josie Morley now cleared for full 90 minutes of action. As we see the two captains, Jana Fraser and Sophie Stapleford, going through the coin toss and conversations with the referee. And a nice tight one in the reserve grade. If the first grade promises as much, that will be an enthralling 90 minutes ahead. It was 1-0 the way of the visitors in reserve grade. As we said, they've played twice this year, once in that League Cup final, 3 goals to 2. That went Charlestown's way after they came flying out of the blocks under lights at Lake Macquarie. Their first regular season game of the year was a 3-0 victory. Many thought against the odds for Maitland at Lyle Carr. Can Maitland double down in the league with home field advantage? Be interesting to see the tactical nuances as we get into this early, especially for a Charlestown side that is obviously missing one of their stars in Melina Ayres.
Absolutely, we'll see how they set up, and they obviously have got still some firepower on the bench and also across the park. So, yeah, they're going to be a really tough side today.
Certainly will, as we see them getting all set here, and we'll have a look at how they do look to line up. And looks like it'll be Maddie Gallegos and Chelsea Lucas starting on either side of attack for Azzurri, and is that maybe Morgan Witt starting at the head of their attack, the new American signing in jersey 57. It's always nice when you can bring in a bit of additional firepower when you've already got the likes of Gallegos and co in this team, and then throw into that you've got Gemma Simon coming off the bench.
Absolutely, yeah, they've got a lot of options, which is going to be the depth of the team is really going to help them tonight.
It's an interesting one when we talk Maddie Gallegos as we get underway. A defender up until this point with her time at Broadmeadows. She came over to Charlestown this year and already has 11 goals. She's made it a very good job of starting up forward. So it'll be interesting to see if she continues that form today as Charlestown get the first throw of the match. Going forward straight away. Take a pot shot well wide in the end from out on the right flank. Annabelle Thornton, as she is a young goalkeeper from Maitland, is watchful of it sailing well wide of the goals. Sometimes you've got to remember that Thornton is just 19 years of age. Reigning goalkeeper of the year in Northern New South Wales Women's NPL as Mary Enswing pushes forward. Under pressure from Togo Paragilli, but she gets to the outside. Cuts back against the grain. Tries to feed it into the box. Ends up falling off a deflection for her again, and then she plays it into the legs of Hunter and will go across for a throw. I'm going to say Maitland got the last touch. Enswing must have got another touch on the rebound, so Charlestown will take the throw and try and bring it forward. Gallegos looking to make a run there, but the pass misdirected. Amos back, sweeping around. Now working forward. Maitland, turn it over. Amos playing a little deeper. Gallegos is going to try and take the quick throw and get it out in front of Witts, but it's headed forward. Amos skews it off the outside of the right. Both teams a little less than clinical with their early passing. Kenny working that back and it falls for Carter and it returns straight back to her. Now they work forward. Kearney threading the ball, looking for Enswing. She does well with a back to goal. A little stumble, cuts to the outside. Plenty of pressure from the Charlestown defence, and they do win out for the time being. They push it across the sideline just over halfway. We talked about it in the lead up there. Both sides looking that little bit nervy, aren't they? They obviously know the stakes that are on the line here, depending on the 3 points, with Charlestown sitting 3 points behind Maitland on the ladder. A win for Maitland will open up a fairly significant and you know, strong gap for them, whereas a win for Maitland, win for Charlestown, sorry, will get them back on level pegging.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first few minutes are just trying to settle into their games. They've been trying to move the ball fairly quickly going up the park, so hopefully in the next few minutes they should settle into their games.
Let's see what they can come up with here, see who settles fastest. Witt's looking a little nervy under that one particularly. She's into her 4th game for the club now. 2 goals already in her first 3. Ranging ball, looking for the pace of Amos. Couldn't quite get a touch and control that. Brown with the throw. Gallegos and Neal come together. The ball returned to Neal after she won out. Plays into the feet of Maddie Gallegos. Georgia Amos making it very clear to the assistant referee that she thought that was Maitland's ball, and that's the way it's judged. Brown has an air swing. Amos now plays it back into the midfield where it's turned over. Gallegos a ranging long ball. Probably going to be too heavy, and Thornton will just come out and play it away. Gosner's going to go all the way back to Thornton. Maitland, a very patient side. They'll be happy to work it around the back. It's been a structure they've utilised well all season. Wait for that opportunity to present. They push forward there, and Martin now drives it forward for Azzurri before it's returned with pace back across the sideline by Serena Carter. Charlestown with their first real opportunity in the attacking third. It's cleared out by Maitland though. Jonah Fraser just collected that on the back of her upper arm, couldn't control. Now Neal tracking back for Gosner. Charlestown pressing, a little mistake here. Witts almost had a chance. Just didn't have time to react well enough, and Thornton was up to the task. That's just an epitome of the nerves that are on show early here. Both sides just a little off and a few missteps. Tango Paragilli just lofting it forward. Neither side really looking to have a lot of control about the way they're going about things here.
Yeah, that's it. I think thankfully the Maitland keeper was in a good position to clean up that little spill. So hopefully that's given the back line a little bit of a focus that they need to sort of get rid of that ball quicker.
Just a little cagey both sides. As we said, a few nerves. They understand despite not everything being on the line, there's plenty on the line in terms of momentum as the season continues on. And Enswing wins out there but can't quite control it. Hunter will work across and sends it with Chloe Martin, who then goes long down the line out in front of Lucas. She's going to feed it into the box. Will O'Neill there and pushes it hard across the eastern sideline. Another opportunity in the attacking third for Charlestown. Good control from Witts, but the next bit of control not as good. They will get another throw, however, Azzurri deep in attacking territory. Martin gets the throw in. Turned over again, driven forward by Maitland and swings the sole. Maitland jersey forward, and she is dispossessed by Hunter, who's driving down the right flank. And that looks like Lana Kearney that's got a boot in and pushed it across the sideline. Shannon's really starting to stride across the ground here at Cook Square Park. Beautiful scene with the hills in the background. Feel like you're up above everything here in East Maitland at this venue. Wonderful outlook there, but it does mean that very quickly the sun's going to drop behind the hill and we're going to be completely engrossed in shadows, probably by half-time with a slightly delayed kickoff. Now Morley on the ball, turns it over again. Another turnover of possession in midfield. Ball push forward here. Brown thinks about putting on the afterburners, but Neal gets down there, although she only does as well as clearing it to Brown. Breaks up the next pass, though. Vitnall tries to pop it into the box to the advantage of Witts, but it's turned again and played out. Long-range strike to the left of goal. Not as far away from target as you might think. It might just be a little bit of a sign of the frustration to is that they just can't quite push it into that 18-yard box with cohesive possession.
That's it. I mean, they've been in the final third for a little bit now, and they just couldn't try and there wasn't any sort of creative runs or anything into that box to get a shot off. So the midfielder had a go.
Yeah, it just feels that they're often quite good at getting those numbers forward into the box, especially when they've got Melina Ayres, the lines that she runs, getting in there, and then Chelsea Lucas playing second fiddle to that, but not quite there at the moment. Enswing can't control that one. Both sides just a little off their normal best. As I said, Maitland have been a little bit between games. Charlestown have been very busy with catch-up games in the last week. Not sure that was an intentional header from Maddie Gallegos, but she'll take it nonetheless as she tries to break free here. Neal doing a good job applying the pressure. Tries to pin her in the corner. Gallegos tries to claim and does get the throw in.
Ended up being a good touch for her, getting the ball in front of her to get the throw.
Certainly did. Tries the long throw into the box, but no one actually there again for Azzurri in the box. Great tactic if someone's there and can find it. The Azzurri men's side are quite adept at utilising that long throw. But now we've got Lucas, a nice turn back inside, gets a little nudge. The referee says play on. Gosner with a slightly unorthodox clearance, but it falls okay for Amos. She's going to try and take on Brown. Feeds it inside. Morley threads the ball almost inch perfect, just a little short of Sophie Stapleford, and Chloe Martin did well to step in and take it away.
Great idea, almost had it. It would have been a perfect pass for the striker to get away.
Something Maitland are very effective at is just finding those balls in. They've got some very experienced midfielders with the likes of Nanadovic and Morley there who can feed those balls, especially on the diagonal, and just slice through the defence. And with the likes of Amos, Enswing and Stapleford, all plenty of pace. They might look at it again here, and they certainly do. And watch for Amos to try and put on the afterburners around the outside. There she goes, gets the outside of Brown and feeds it into Enswing. She's got Stapleford in the centre if she can find her. It skews out nicely. Stapleford gets there, and Bartels read it like a book. She was down to it before it was even off the striker's boot.
But better play from Maitland. They came out, they had a bit more space and time to be able to put in a good ball in and get a shot off at least. So, yeah, promising stuff.
Certainly is promising. These wide defensive players for both sides are going to have their work cut out with the players like Maddie Gallegos and George Ramos. Plenty of pace at both ends. There's Gallegos on the ball now. Turning, under pressure. All over the jersey of Morley, and a little bit of frustration there. You see Josie Morley with that left knee heavily taped. That's the one she did the ACL on earlier this season, but in somewhat of a medical miracle, able to play on with no ACL in that knee. Is been cleared and now can, as I understand, has been cleared to play full minutes as well, which is good news for Maitland. It's just crazy to think, isn't it, when you see players do the ACLs, it's normally a season-ending injury. The fact she's only out for sort of 6 to 8 weeks and is back and playing without one, because we know there's a high prevalence of them in the women's game as well.
There is, yeah, unfortunately, and it's a long injury, mostly. But yeah, 6 to 8 weeks is pretty phenomenal. But yeah, has in the women's game, there's been a lot from Matildas all the way into our competitions as well.
Yeah, it feels like almost every week we see a top-line player going down with one. As Enswing takes a strike, a little to the right in the end. Doesn't rattle Bartels, although she's giving some constructive feedback to her defenders about preventing those shots coming in. Yeah, my understanding is that, you know, it's a very rare, like we're talking less than 1% chance that when you do it, that you still have enough strength and stability around that knee to be able to run, let alone compete at this level of football. So it's a wonderful story, especially for a player like Josie who had done her ACL previously as well. It's always heartbreaking when you see a player do it, but when they do it for a second or third time, yeah, it can be very crushing. As we see Sophie Stapleford, the captain, arranging forward. Nice overlapping run for Kearney. She's got plenty of space if she can pull the ball up. But the offside flag goes up. That explains why she had quite so much space.
Right idea, though. The overlap actually got them in beyond, but yeah, unfortunately just offside there.
It's timing that pass. Bartels is going to come out and take it. Temperature dropping here at Cook Square Park as the sun dissipates behind the trees. Ball push forward, Enswing gets on it. Stapleton overlapping down the wing. Now trying to cross it in. Amos coming into the box. Brown does well. That was very close to the edge of the 18-yard box. The referee was right there, though, and Bartels appears to have gotten that punch away just inside the edge of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, that was pretty good from the keeper coming all the way out. It's always hard when there's a cluster of players in around the keeper. So
Neil lobs it looking for Enswing. Headed away by Togo Paragilli. Now for Lucas, under pressure from Kearney. Both sides just starting to look like they're getting a little more fluent with their play and a little more into their usual patterns now. Ranging down on the right is Martin. Tries to take it away. Has it picked off. Kearney was doing well there. Played it back and Carter's just going to have to push it across the sideline under pressure. A little more promising from Azzurri. Go the throw. It's headed straight back to Martin, who's going to drive it into the box, try and get it to fall. That's a solid shot from Gosner. Holly Vitnell still on the ground. She's been rocked by that. What an impact. Good legal body-on-body check as she came through and took the ball. Brown now. That one didn't look so legal on Vitnell. She's getting battered from pillar to post, but the referee had eyes only on the ball and didn't see that behind him.
So had a few bodies on the line for that kind of defence. So
just represents and shows what this does mean to these two teams. There's a fairly strong rivalry, might be the nicest way of putting it, between these two sides at the moment, and understandably so. They're the two favourites to go all the way through and meet in the grand final. As we said, they've matched up in the League Cup final already, and Azzurri took the first of the silverware to be fought out between them. It was after Azzurri had taken the Charity Shield as well, so some trophies already building in Charlestown's cabinet. Maitland, though, will be chasing that one in September. Kenny to take the throw. As the last of the sun disappears from Cook Square Park. Ball falls back, played centrally. Nardovic looking for Amos. Might be heavy, is it? No, it's going to pull up nicely in the end. Well weighted. She's got Neil with her. That's where she's going to go. Gallegos defending intently. Fraser plays it back to Brown. And it gets it down for a acrobatic parry on from Gallegos, but it triggers across the line.
Well defended by Charlestown. Did have a bit of space on the outside there, Maitland, but they shut that down very well.
Good body positioning there from Gawthrop, but couldn't control the touch. Now lobbed forward. Hunter sends it down for Witts, who's now hustling back up against Morley. Again, plenty of physicality from both sides here. Now Stapleford gets to the outside. Gawthrop making an advance run for Enswing. She gets herself just a little offside. Enswing had to pull up and she's dispossessed. Gawthrop again takes it. She's going to look to feed it through for Amos. Brown gets a boot on it, but I don't know if it'll be quite enough. Yes, it will. And Maitland will take a throw in almost as deep as they can in attacking territory, right by the corner flag. Amos goes looking for Gawthrop. The Nardovic now. She won't be backwards in coming forwards. Lays it off for Morley. Is collected and steps back in, and a bit of a clumsy challenge from Hunter. Wasn't too much in it, but clearly a foul. The referee right on the spot, and this is going to be a dangerous set piece.
It is. It's a great opportunity for Maitland. This is the first time they've really been down here. First free kick of the match, is it? So, yeah, let's see if they can get something on this.
Certainly got some good options here with the Nardovic and Stapleford to go over the dead ball. I touched on in the intro. Maitland, 31 goals this season, only bettered by Charlestown and New Lambton, but It's where they shine at the other end with the 7 conceded across their 11 matches. Stapleford and Anardovic having a conversation here about who's going to take the strike. Bartels is going to be on her toes, ready to go here. She's already poised. Stapleford takes a strike, tries to drive it through the wall, and it's easily dealt with. Anardovic tracking back. Kearney gets to the outside, working hard. Martin just pushes in and pushes it across the sideline with the right boot. There'll be another throw in. Maitland just trying to turn the screws down here in the attacking third. Gawthrop getting forward to the ball, can't control it. Sliced off the outside of the right boot from Charlestown. Now Will O'Neill has Amos out wide. Neal trying to overlap. Amos can't get the turn, so Gosner's there. Gosner comes forward. Plays it into Enswang. Amos cuts into the box dangerously. Neal now, will she look the early cross? She's got 3 players in or around the box. Gets to the outside of Brown. Brown, did she get a little touch on that? She did. The referee says we'll have our first corner. Another set piece for Maitland.
Another opportunity. Maitland are settling into their game now. You can see they're a bit more patient on the ball. They're passing the ball around, which has allowed them to come back down here a second time. So, promising things.
Watch for Charlestown if they defuse this to very quickly go on the counter. I'll try and use their pace. They'll have Gallegos breaking. Witts is already sitting down there right on halfway, ready to go. But they have to defuse it first. Nanardovic at the corner. Gosner a target right in front of the keeper. Enswing at the back of the box. Amos at the back of the box. Not a lot of height for either side in there. Nanardovic pops it in. Bartels gets a hand to it. Headed forward by Morley. Now Enswang over onto the roof. My goodness, there's a good goal line save there, but it wasn't from the keeper in the end. One of the defenders saw away Morley's header before Enswang almost chipped it over.
It's a great quarter from Maitland. That could have gone either way.
Bartels did well to get out and get hands to it to start with, but just didn't get it far enough away. You feel she probably needed to try and grab hold of it. Hard in traffic, though. She decides to play this one out. Hunter drives it long. Carter gets a boot to it. Gosner will push forward. Now Vittnell puts it forward for Witts. Nice touch back inside. Gets a strike away. Well blocked by Will O'Neill. She's been strong today, has Neal. The threat not completely dealt with, though. Fraser pokes it forward. Lucas has a little head clash, has she, with, is that Carter? And they're going to call for the trainers to come on. They both went for that. I think that 2 of the players just both going for the ball, and the back of one head went into the front of the other. Serena Carter's got the back of the Azzurri player's head right in the middle of the forehead by the look of it.
Yeah, that's always painful. It's not nice to see.
Always a little bit of a sting, especially on a cold evening. Hopefully nothing too major, just a bit of a stun. Especially getting it on the front of the face, you just get the eyes watering and...
Exactly.
Both teams will use this as a moment just to regroup and recompose themselves. But I was touching on there, Witts did so well to get herself back into position for a shot, and it looked like she had Neal beat back on the inside, and Neal just did extremely well to recover and shut down that shot, because that was going to be heading for the postage stamp, and it would have been a phenomenal effort from Annabella Thornton if she was to save that then. So hats off to Will O'Neill.
Yeah, exactly. Charlestown are really quick in transition. They're really quick going forward. So there was a really good defensive effort there from Maitland.
Azzurri with the throw, almost in line with the 18-yard box. Looks like both players have been cleared to continue on, which is always positive. Martin with the throw. Now they work it. Fraser pushing it in towards the box, looking for Witts, but Thornton was there. Decides to play it out. And to that play we touched on just before, Neal. She pushes forward. Amos will utilise her pace and touch there just to position best for Maitland. Gosner coming forward. Neal, is she onside? That's going to be the question. No, she's not. It's going to be close, but the assistant referee perfectly in position. Does a great job. And we come back. You can see what Maitland are trying to do. They're just trying to set those players in behind.
Watch that fullback win the rotation. The mess will drop deep and their fullback will come up. Watch that rotation.
Heath White almost just talking through exactly what we talked about. Exactly that. They've pushed Georgia Amos forward multiple times, and that time she sat in the pocket and let Will O'Neill do the overlap. He's just talking to Georgia Brown exactly about that.
That said, if Maitland can get them being onside, then that move will definitely expose Charlestown.
It's one of those pieces, isn't it? There's a nice little bit of tactics because Amos has been making those runs. So you lull Georgia Brown, the winger, or the wing back here for Azzurri, into just sticking to her because of her pace and the threat that she poses. As Brown plays a nice ball forward. Gallegos looking for wits. Neal will try and shepherd this over the byline. Gets a little touch on it, I think, though. Thought the referee was going to call a goal kick, but again, he's Johnny on the spot and gets us with a corner. So now Azzurri, their first real chance down at this end. It's not going to be Chloe Catley to take the corner. Gallegos at the back post, but they can't get it there. It's parried down, not completely dealt with. Enswing's going to have to clear this. She does well, just plays it on for herself, and she's got some pace. What can she come up with here? She's going to try and dribble it forward further and leaves it in no man's land. Martin, though, can't control her touch, and Maitland will escape with a throw in near halfway.
Yeah, that's it. The corner wasn't too dealt with, but at least...
Nice throw here. Stapleford out and away behind. Amos racing up into the box. That's where they look. Brown tries to clear it. Goes aerial in the end, though. Martin's header is a miss. Stapleford's going to try and use a body position to set this ball up. They continue to work in the attacking third, Maitland. Nice close control. Lucas gets a boot in on Kearney and will have a throw. We're just starting to show some wisps of experience coming out. Unless the Togo Paragilli wasn't taking any chances with that one. Both sides looking quite good when they just try and move the ball forward as quickly as they can. They're both happy to use the outside to do so, but going around, but in quite a quick and direct fashion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. The game is opening up now. You can see where they're exploiting some space in between them, but they are going fast. It is a fast transition for both sides.
Now a corner for Maitland. It was a pinpoint delivery on the first one. What can Nenadovich come up with here? Gawthrop and Gosner dangerous. Amos at the back post. Morley the front. Lost this in again. Headed away for the time being. Amos can't quite get it to a teammate. Kearney was sweeping, and now all of a sudden Azzurri going the other way. Togo Paragilli and Lucas. Matty Gallegos is going to get to the outside. I'm not sure where that pass was intended for because there's no Azzurri players out on the right. They had numbers surging centrally and left. Now they try to go the other way, and Bartels is going to have to try and race out of a box. And then she decides to backtrack and utilise the space.
Yeah, it was unfortunate they were all running the same line, the Charlestown players.
Going to be a yellow card there. For Keely Gawthrop. Let's take a moment, note her down in the book, the first card of the game. Bartels drives it long. Gawthrop in there again, gets her head to it. Nenadovich can't quite get it there. Jana Fraser takes a shot from range. Just over the crossbar. My goodness, that wasn't far away.
That was close.
Certainly was. There's no doubt that Annabella Thornton is not the largest keeper getting about. So Fraser just spotted her a little off the line. She wasn't far off it, but decided to try and take a bit of a chance, and it might do enough just to pin Thornton back to that line for a little while now. Witts crosses this in, looking for someone in the box, but Carter's out to it. Now Kearney gets a friendly, Stapleford gets a friendly deflection, and it falls for Enswing. Now they push to the right. Gawthrop trying to get it for Amos. A nice bounce over the top of Brown. Amos one-on-one. Turns on the pace. Brown gets a little touch in, but Amos gets away. She then miscues it off the outside a bit. I think that's quite what she's aiming for. It's that friendly for Bartels.
But again, nice width from Maitland. This right side has been their channel at the moment for coming forward. So well done.
Certainly has. Opportunity here, Gallegos couldn't get a clean touch and it collides with the keeper, but it comes away fortunately for Maitland and another blemish avoided. It's not a situation you want to repeat too often. Matty Gallegos one-on-one with the keeper, but all of a sudden it's back at the other end. What can they come up with? Well defended. Togo Paragili has been outstanding as the last line a couple of times today. The throw-in falls for N-swing. There is Togo Paragili again, defending it away. Update from the other game that's carrying on simultaneously to this one. A New Lambton lead Newcastle Olympic 1-0, approaching half-time at Alder Park. Maitland will continue to attack here. Brown steps in, gets a boot in well, but has left Amos with space. Amos races to the edge of the 18-yard box. Looks to thread it in, but again, who's there? Alyssa Togo Paragili. The clearance doesn't quite get there. Neal comes away. Witts has gone down. Neal threads it for Amos. The flag goes up. Had to be close. Let's keep an eye on Morgan Witts here. He's come away quite gingerly from the contest. It's a little bit of a collision over the ball. Togo Paragili has been everywhere at that last line of defence for Azzurri. I feel if she's not there, it might have been a goal or two already.
She has. She's been pretty integral in the back line there. Maitland just finding it hard to play through.
Not an easy attack to close down, but she's done a wonderful job in different positions. And here she is on the ball now, and commentators curse. As soon as they give her a wrap, she's passed the ball to the opposition. Amos now. Azzurri trying to tighten and close things off. N-swing was facing away from goal. So Togo Paragili will have a little bit of a jump on her. Gets it down for Bartels, and Bartels clears it long. Jana Fraser will head it across the sideline. Amos to Gawthrop. Gawthrop. Witts gets a little touch and plays it down the line. So Nanardovic, be careful coming in those challenges from the side and behind. Witts playing it off now. Catley plays it wide. Lucas out there. She's got Martin with her and drops it back to her in the pocket. She's going to try and cross it in, but well away from any target. The clearance not effective from Maitland. Azzurri maintain possession. Vitnell now chips it forward. Witts looking dangerous. Gets inside Neal, but Amos, the reinforcement, arrives. Neal back to Amos. She's got a little space and draws the player before laying it off to Nanardovic, who goes into a solid contest with Matty Gallegos. She hasn't forgot her defensive roots. Togo Paragili races forward and takes it away from N-swing. Neal with the throw. Back to Gosner. Gosner pairs up with Carter, who pushes it across. They change the point of attack. Kenny working forward. Stapleford can't control it. The touch too heavy. Morley takes it away, but misdirects the pass. Gosner's raced out of the line here. Witts tried to play it out in front of Gallegos, but Gallegos was resting back on her heels at the time she'd pulled up. Now Gosner for N-swing. She gets a touch, but not quite where she wanted it. Togo Paragili can't control it. N-swing cuts back in. A tangle of legs, and it goes against Holly Vitnell.
Yeah, it was a good passative play by Charlestown before. They just can't really break through that final pass through the Maitland defence. They're holding them at this stage.
Certainly are. Both defences doing a wonderful job. We've seen lots of free-reigning attack, but neither side able to quite find that last killer punch to get on the score sheet. Stapleford and Nanardovic over this set piece here. It's quite away from goal. As we head towards the final 12 or so minutes of this first half here at Cook Square Park. Nanardovic Slices it into the box and pushed across the face. What an opportunity that was, Josie Morley. I'd love to have that again. She won't often miss opportunities as good as that.
Yeah, what a great chance. Great kick there. Good touch, just wide though.
Nardovic's been absolutely pinpoint from these set pieces, the two corners, and now this free kick just here. So one to watch. She looks like she's on today. It's just going to be about whether Maitland can capitalise and someone can get on the end of one of those balls into the box. Bartels drives it long towards halfway. It beats the first couple on the fall, and then on the bounce again, it beats another couple. Nardovic goes hustling in there. Amos is going to try to get the outside end swing with her pace as well. Togo Paragilli might have got a little fortunate with that one. Gawthrop now. No look pass and didn't turn out well. Witts feeds it to the captain in Fraser, who's collected. That might have looked a little bit more fitting at Maitland Sports Ground in a Maitland Pickers match.
That's it. That was a solid challenge there.
Sophie Nardovic never afraid of putting her body on the line. Regularly comes through with physical tackles, normally just on the legal side. That one, though, drew the eye of the referee. Danny Bartels is going to come out and take this one all the way down towards halfway. Trying to drive it forward. Hits it off the outside and cleared by Maitland towards halfway. Kelly Gawthrop got a almost unawares header on that one. Now to Nardovic. One of her clumsy control, but gets it under her spell eventually. Amos trying to feed it for Enswing. Enswing comes through and takes it away. Now Amos again for Enswing. Bouncing around everywhere, the South African international. Gosnut back to Thornton. Toying with Chelsea Lucas. Now Gosnut drives it forward. It's picked off by Togo Paragilli. She just stood and waited for it to come to her. Takes it off Gawthrop. Gawthrop grabs the jersey and the referee will bring that back. Cynical play. And Vitnall earns that one. That was just silly from Gawthrop. She needs to be a little cautious. Already in the referee's book. Tango Paragilli to take this one. Fraser, Lucas and Gallegos set up across the front of the 18-yard box and going to go straight for goal, and racing forward to take it at her toes was Annabella Thornton. It's going to be a tough one. I know in terms of being a goalkeeper, making that decision as to whether to come out and take it really at that low level as well. It was really dipping late.
Yeah, it is, especially when Charlestown are very confident shooting out wide. Further shots would be in the goalkeeper's mind when to come out or not.
Thornton showing every reason why she was the Northern New South Wales NPL Keeper of the Year last year for our women's NPL. Serena Carter comes flying forward there and loses a footing as she collects that away from goal. Now an optimistic through ball that's easily dealt with by Thornton. I feel like this game's ready to just be broken open by some sort of strong effort from one of the two sides, maybe a little bit of individual brilliance. Georgia Brown steps in and picks this pass off. Just trying to set Amos in behind again. Morley comes off second best in a challenge with Jana Fraser. We've got a player in Gawthrop down on her haunches here. Witts is going to try and cut infield. She gives it off. Nardovic, a little bump on Vitnall. That'll be a dangerous free kick now for Charlestown, just off centre. Almost in line with the left upright. About 25 yards out from goal.
It's another test for the goalkeeper.
Some very good opportunities for some of our dead ball specialists so far today. The goalkeepers have been up to the challenge thus far. Jana Fraser will step up over this one for Charlestown. She has 6 goals to her name in season 2025. Can she curl this one into the top corner? That's exactly where she goes, just overcooks it a little, and it slices away over the crossbar. Thornton was watchful, but needed not worry. Maitland to play it out from the back. Gawthrop working with Gosner. Gosner under pressure. Witts pushing hard, pressing defensively. Now Maitland, the clearing ball. Hunter lobs it forward. Gawthrop racing up, gets ahead to it. Tago Paragilli will calmly trot back and parry it to Bartels. Amos will try and apply some pressure. Kearney turns it over to Matty Gallegos there before stepping back in and taking it away and pushing across the line, and Azzurri have the throw. Now played into the box, but Gosner calmly gets rid of it on the first attempt. It spills down now. Almost a half chance there. Fraser thought she was in with a shot, but Thornton was quick off her line to come out and deal with the threat. Seeing lots of really good structured attacks from both sides here, but just that, you touched on it before, that final, I guess that final positioning in the box, that final opportunity, neither side can get themselves into that spot to really get a quality shot away.
Yeah, there's just whether it's a couple more runs into the box with a quality ball through. Obviously Charlestown are having shots from outside the box, but yeah, hasn't been able to get through at this stage.
I think it's a little combination of attack not quite gelling as Witts gets to the outside. She might get a shot away here. She does, but that was very meek. I was also going to obviously compliment. We've talked about a couple of defenders in particular, but the defensive units from both sides are probably a big part of why it's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. They're both holding their lines. Haven't had any room for the strikers to really move and run in space.
Amos plays it into the boots of Brown, calls for the quick throw. So George is coming together, Amos and Brown there. The referee is having a little bit of a chat about it. Some very animated Charlestown players here. Tago Paragilli drives that forward. Lucas trying to get onto it, but it falls friendly for Gallegos. She's got Martin with her. She cuts back the other way, looking for Witts, is she? No, Fraser going to play it out in front of Martin, making a good ranging run. But Annabella Thornton gets across the edge of the 18-yard box and just sees it watchfully across the byline.
Yeah, that's a right idea for the pass, just not quite there, just overcooked.
Thornton passes across the face of goal to Gosner. Gallegos is there pressing. Finds end swing. It's a nice long ball. Amos. Brown takes it away though. And swing comes through. Beautiful touch in close quarters. She's got such good control, Marianne Swing. Now Thornton drives it wide, switches that point of attack to the left. Kenny plays it down for Stapleford. He's got Martin close on the heels. A nice little faint touch, but Hunter there to sweep up the crumbs. Charlestown a little disconnected there. They just played that pass off. They had 3 players there, but it didn't really fall for any of them. They had to work for it to retrieve. And just a little bit of fatigue. This is their 3rd game in a week, Charlestown. It'll be interesting to see how they maintain the energy levels across the 90 minutes. We head towards half-time here at Cook Square Park. Northern New South Wales women's NPL match of the round for round 14. Second clash between these two sides. And Alana, it's quite interestingly how the competition is set up, because, as we said before, if Charlestown were to win today, they'll pull level. And we could get to the point that the last round of the season, these two sides will play in round 21, which could end up deciding who finishes on top of the ladder, which could be quite a finish. But, again, Maitland could go a long way towards holding a strong advantage if they win today as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's exciting when all the games are up to the last one. I think it's always great when it's not one in the first round. So, yeah, both sides, as you see.
Togo Paragillis, the crowd very happy with that stop.
Great tackle there.
It was a good, strong tackle. She's been exemplary in defence so far. Speaking of strong tackles, Talia Gosner holds position there, and all of a sudden a lofted ball out in front of Sophie Stapleford. Does well, but can't quite control it. Comes back for a second effort, gets possession again, the Maitland captain. Looking for a teammate, Amos there. Witz comes in and pushes in behind. Now Hunter finds Gallegos up forward. Witz calls for it. Lucas is there. Is she onside? The flag stays down. The keeper's out. She's beaten the keeper. Can Lucas finish though? Gallegos will try to. An impact in the box. It's parried away. Play on, says the referee. Looked like Gallegos went the jumper there, and has calls for handball from the Charlestown Azzurri bench. And the referee says that he saw nothing wrong with that and lets them play out. What an enthralling passage of play there as we head towards half-time. So close for Charlestown.
Great work.
Chelsea Lucas just couldn't quite get the angle to take that shot. You feel that maybe that might have been the chance because Maitland did well to recover.
They were, yeah, and it was a great body on the line for Carter there. She was right down to stopping the shot. That was a great chance for Charlestown, but the scrambling defence again managed to stop them.
I think not just the body on the line, but the fact of the body awareness when she was on the ground to reach out that boot and use the studs just to kick it away that little bit further. Again, it's all those, they say it's a game of inches. As Enswing gets her foot in, and all of a sudden calling for Amos racing forward. Bartels caught in no man's land. She comes back off the line. Amos pushes it. The Bartels is there. Not quite enough power again to threaten, but it's end-to-end football here at Cook Square Park.
It is. The game's opening up now.
It's amazing. A little bit of fatigue as we head towards the half-time whistle. Lucas and Neal fighting toe-to-toe. Neal comes out the winner. Amos racing forward. Ball played into legs. Brown does well to get a boot to it. Morley puts it forward. Togo Paragilli calling for the offside flag. And I feel like this little cluster of Charlestown Azzurri fans have taken a particular dislike to Georgia Amos this afternoon because everything that goes against her, they're cheering much more actively.
Yeah, she has been a bit of a threat down this right side. More than half the attackers come down from there. So she's doing, I guess, a good job, which is why the spectators aren't liking it too much.
Yeah, we always love to dislike someone who's doing the damage against us. It's, it's always a little bit of, it's not just football, it's Australian sporting law, I think.
That's it.
Now into stoppage time at the referee's discretion now. And a couple of stoppages with some cautions and also that head clash that we had a little earlier. I think we might have a couple of minutes here, but it shouldn't be too long. We'll see how long our referee continues us on, and can someone snatch the momentum with a goal before the break. Azzurri thread a ball, and it just absolutely slices its way through there. Vitnell now. She's got Lucas with her, but can't find the pass. Manages to pop it into the box, and all of a sudden Gallegos is collected. Is she? No. Referee says they got the ball. And he says that will do us for the first half, despite the animated protestations from the Azzurri bench. And it's been chess with boots on. It's been cagey at times, creative in patches, and still wide open heading into the second 45. Alana, it's very hard to say that either side has any real momentum or upper hand. It's as evenly poised as it can be.
Yeah, I think both teams came out, obviously, with big intent to start fast, to get the ball forward as quickly as possible. But in turn, they've both really done that. So I guess moving into the second half.
that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good. yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
Well, welcome back to Cooks Square Park for the second half of the Northern New South Wales Round 14 Women's Match of the Round in the NPL. And at half-time, it's all locked up at 0-all. Chris McPherson and Alana Neve bringing you all of the action. And now fully under the lights now, Alana. The sun's completely gone. You can certainly feel it. It's very fresh up here at Cooks Square Park.
Yep, a few degrees cooler. Had to put my jacket on.
Nice little last remnants of the sunset just in the corner of your screen there. You take it in here and it sets over the hills of the Hunter Valley. I think that's wonderful to watch. Wait until you see what these two teams have got for us for the next 45 minutes. It's going to be edge of your seat stuff. Don't go anywhere. Who can come out on top? Can someone get a quick killer blow here coming out of the break? Lana Kearney will take the throw. Defended well there. Hunter gets a body in the way. Kearney coming through. Turns away from goal. Tries to thread it through a little optimistically. And the defenders come away. Hunter again. Nardovic wins out. Does well to keep it inside the sideline. Another good turn. Feeds it down. Looking for Kearney, but she was on her heels and resting and wasn't going to be able to get there in time.
Yeah, see what she was trying to do was the right idea. Did the pass. Didn't quite get the runner.
There's been a few occasions of that, both teams, where there might just be a bit of communication, I'm not sure. This execution piece is not quite gelling, and as we touched on before, Charlestown have had a good week, a 5-0 and a 6-0 win in the lead-up. But it'll be interesting to see how that extra football takes its toll on the legs here as this second half plays out. And now the two coaches, Joe Wright for Maitland and Heath White for Azzurri, utilise their benches. Some serious firepower on both benches, so we'll wait and see. We've got Gemma Simon and Kyra Dickey to come off the bench for Charlestown, and Paige Kingston-Hogg and Charlotte O'Connor, two of the names that stand out on the Maitland bench. Another physical challenge comes in. Martin limps away from it. As we said in the first half, there's no love lost between these two sides. In a fight tooth and nail for the 3 points across these remaining 40-odd minutes. Lofted into the box. Headed away initially. Falls for Catley. She can't quite control it. And Nardovic gets a boot in. AMS feeds it out in front of Enswing. Stapleford just timing her run down the other side. AMS looking to make a run, but Enswing can't control it. And Azzurri clear it back across halfway. Gostner will go all the way back to Thornton, who'll track back to the edge of the 18-yard box before driving it towards halfway, where Georgia Brown parries it forward. Nice little turn there. Opportunity for Witts. That's Lucas, apologies. They've switched sides in this half. I don't know whether that's part of Morgan Witts' contract. She can only play on the camera side, or Chelsea Lucas a little bit shy. Maybe Heath White just saw something in the match up there. As we said, neither side really had managed to conducively structure their attack consistently, so some changes probably not surprising in terms of shape and form.
I think Maitland had a lot of attacking opportunities on the right, so maybe they're switching their winger on the left so they can, on their right, so they can exploit this side.
Waiting for the free kick to be taken here. It'll be Gosner to take it. Taking a time with it. Lofts it over the top. It beats the first two. AMS takes it. Plays it wide for Will O'Neill. Cross had some sting on it. I think it caught Keely Gawthrop unawares. Speaking of change, it looks like Gawthrop's pushed quite further forward and playing in front of Marianne Swing at the moment. With some interesting conversations at half-time. I think both coaches would have undoubtedly acknowledged, Alana, that there was a lot of positives to take from the first half, but still some definite work-ons to get back to their preferred structures and execution.
Yeah, that's it. I think both defence have done their job in the first half, and now it's just about really putting on the acceleration in the final third. Can they be both more creative?
So just creating that last connection from midfield to their forward lines. Both sides are certainly got plenty of capabilities and goals within their forward lines. It's just how do they unlock them? And a run like that from Callista Hunt is a great start for it. Now they try and feed it forward, but Will O'Neill read that well and stepped in and cut the ball away. Manages to keep possession. Gosler now plays through the midfield this time. Nenadovich looks for Stapleford, using the width of the pitch. One-on-one, cuts away. Lana Kearney will overlap and flood forward to get there, but Witts is going to take the last touch and send it over the sideline. Magpies with a throw deep in attacking territory. Threaded pass nicely. Witts turns on the accelerator, feeds it out in front for Jonah Fraser. She straight away goes for Lucas, and again, Will O'Neill just reads that so well and takes it away. Can't control it though, and it will roll across the sideline. That's twice in a matter of only a minute where Will O'Neill's just done so well to intercept those passes.
Yeah, that's great reading of the ball, great reading of the play. Had to get there, had the opportunity with the player on the outside, so well done.
Well done to Gosner as well, racing forward to head that throw in. It's not often that you come out of these matches where you're talking a lot about the defences, but both sides, their defences have been their shining light so far across the opening 50 or so minutes.
Yeah, for both sides, they're just both not connecting with their front forwards. We haven't had too many shots in the first half, and so hopefully we can see a bit more of that. We'd like to see a goal tonight. What do you reckon?
That'd be nice. Well, we saw 5 last time these two clashed. And it was Azzurri that got off to a flying start, so maybe that's led to both sides being a little more defensively minded in this game. As I said, Maitland, when you have a look across all competition, I think they can see something like 11 goals in 14 or 15 games, and 3 of those came in that one game in the League Cup final. So they know the threat that Charlestown do possess, even without Melina Ayres in their lineup. Clearing pass a little off target, and Witts will now take the throw, puts it out for Gallegos, and Carter just sees it across the sideline. Martin now goes the long throw. Gallegos tries to knot it on. Couldn't quite find its way to Fraser. Witts heads it back into the box. Thornton's going to have to race out. The players do well to shepherd her run. Just feel that something needs to break out of this shortly. That's probably not what we're looking for. Another foul. Great turn. She's so much of a handful, Marianne Swing, just how tight she can turn in those spaces. It makes it really hard to defend, and that's a great example where the defender had absolutely no intention of fouling her, but just got caught off balance, and the boot clips end swing, as did that one as well. The frustrations coming from the Charlestown bench. The referee doing very well to manage the frustrations from both sides. It'll be very easy for emotions and tempers to boil over here, but he's just keeping a lid on things at the moment.
So there has been some pretty tough challenges, which creates a little bit of...
Kearney comes away with it. Yeah, it certainly has, and see a player on the ground again after one of those collisions. There doesn't appear to be too much malice in any of them, though, and it's always that interesting judgment piece, I guess, as an official, is to see a great toe-to-toe battle between Kearney and Martin there. I might come back to that thought in a moment. And swing for Morley. Now Kearney. And broken up. And Hunter. As I was saying, Alana, it's one of those pieces of referee. They've got to make that decision, because sometimes pulling out a card a little bit earlier than you might like to, or being a bit stronger in that action, can actually pour fuel on the fire with the tempers as well of some of the players.
Yeah, it does, and especially when it's not really malice here. It's just really they're really hungry for the ball, and there might have just been a couple of late ones here, but because the ball is moving quite quickly. So, yeah, definitely a fine line for a referee.
Tonight's official doing a very good job of that. You see, again, Hunter getting up for that one. End swing comes down with it. Under pressure, cuts out, and now it's lofted forward, looking for Stapleford, but Martin's there again. Nenadovich pushing forward. Now Carter Cuts to the outside. Witts is putting the pressure on, and Stableford turns the afterburners to the outside edge. Now cuts through. Martin gets a touch on it. Gets clattered for her efforts to shoulder-to-shoulder contest. Nice and physical, and a corner comes for Maitland. Nardovic's been pinpoint with the first two. Danny Bartels is going to have to be absolutely on her game between the posts for Charlestown on this one.
Yeah, they're opting for all the players in the top of the box, one pestering the keeper, sorry, not anticipating the cross probably in the middle.
And in, headed away at the front post. Interesting that Maitland only had the 4 players in and around the box in total. They weren't looking to load up the numbers, and Kearney hits that. Hunter feeds it wide, looking for Lucas. Stableford tracking back. The attacker turns defender. Lucas cuts across. Broken up for the time being, but not completely dealt with. Georgia Brown feeds it wide. Gosling gets a... And that's Stableford out there, sorry. Gets a boot on it. Enswing feeds it long now. Amos collides with Brown. Brown comes away with the ball. Tries to feed it into the box. It was an optimistic pass to try and thread. And Talia Gosling sees it away. And Georgia Amos has had the best of those battles until now, but Georgia Brown clearly getting the upper hand there.
Yeah, that's a good pass of play from Charlestown. Still got the ball.
Brown with the throw, looking to go into the box for Gallegos. She brings it down with the chest, and now driven out of the box. Defensive prowess coming to the fore again for Maitland. They're consistent there. That's a nice little ball on. Gallegos tries the tap on again. Manages to retain possession. Witts takes a strike, scuffs it off the outside of the right, and it's well away from target. And I think she might have actually had a little bit of a roll of her ankle there, and she fell away with that shot.
That's a bit of play from Charlestown. There's still not many options in the box. I had to take that pretty quickly. Of course, it went well wide.
Yeah, it's
rushing the shots.
It is one of those things, isn't it? When those players aren't able to present, you start to feel that your hand's a little bit forced, and you start to rush through even those longer range shots. And there's a great example there. And now we're going to have a change. Brianna Williams is going to come on, and Witts is going to come off. As I said, not sure whether it was the case that she did actually roll that ankle then, but I know it's not Witts coming off. Witts is just coming to have a chat with the coach and get her ankle dealt with. And Chloe Catley coming off, which is an early change. Just looking for a little bit of a spark, maybe Azzurri here, Alana. Something needs to change for them, you feel?
Yeah, I think Witts has been pretty good, but there's just no real support for her. So hopefully a bit of injection of a new fresh legs can see them go forward a bit quicker.
Lofted forward there, not with much hope or intention over the sideline. Maitland will take the throw at halfway. Neal throws long, looking for end swing. Amos comes away, gets to the outside of Brown, feeds it down. Willow Neal coming along. And it's pushed across the sideline off Azzurri last. It'll be a Maitland throw deep in the attacking third. I'm having flashbacks to the World Cup in South Africa. I can hear a vuvuzela over here. I don't know what's going on. I didn't expect to hear one of those at Cook Square Park. That was not on my bingo card tonight.
There you go. You never know what you're going to find.
The NPL, it just keeps on turning up wonderful surprises, that's for sure. Now, Maitland another corner. Nanadovic dropped the last one short. What will Maitland do here? An extra number heading into the box.
Committed a few more this time.
Yeah, we've got Morley deep, Gosner, Enswing up forward. Georgia Amos is going to run short and present an option. That's where they go. Lays it back off to Nanadovic, who Comes away with it, does she? No. She's been absolutely harangued, and then she takes a strike that finds the top of the net. It was halfway between a cross and a shot and didn't really cause any danger either way.
It was just a bit slow with that pass back, which managed to get something off. So just over the bar.
Some good defensive work from Chelsea Lucas to go and put the pressure on and force the long-range effort. The short corner didn't pay any dividends. Now Bartels, as we head just past 60 minutes. There's that play there we just touched on, Chelsea Lucas. Turned over, Maitland take it away. Update from Alder Park. It's locked up at 1-1. 67 minutes gone between New Lambton and Olympic. That battle of third and fourth.
There we go. 2 close games tonight.
It's always good when we've got the teams that are sitting in finals contentions neck and neck. Witts now with some space. What can she conjure here? Gets a nice ball in behind for Gallegos. How can she go? Can she finish here? Beats one, but parries it straight at Annabella Thornton, who takes it in the breadbasket nice and easily.
There you go. That was better from Charlestown. She had a bit of space to get a shot off. Didn't quite get onto it, but good positioning from the keeper.
Thornton did well there. Gallegos would like to have it again, as often strikers lament to do. Witts now. Fraser coming around. Chips it back in. And Williams racing through. Yeah, Maitland. Gosner pushing forward. Offered space and takes it. Yeah, an optimistic threaded ball looking for end swing. They chip it over now. Lucas tracking back there with defence. It's interesting we touched on that switch over. We'll come back in a moment. Gallegos up against Gosner. No, that's Carter marking her there. Gets off a strike, and this one over the crossbar. They're looking a little more dangerous all of a sudden, Azzurri.
They are. They're encroaching in closer to the goal here. Didn't quite, could have maybe cut it back. There's a bit of space in the middle, but just not enough forward.
Interesting to see how the Maitland defence responds here to Maddie Gallegos getting in behind a couple of times back to back. See what changes or how they slightly adapt structurally. We've seen Azzurri adapt structurally very differently, which is seeing Chelsea Lucas tracking Will O'Neill on that other side, which is that change we identified earlier. Lucas playing as the left winger, tracking all the way back with the right back of Maitland, who's trying to play the overlap.
Yeah, they've definitely shut down that play in the second half at this stage.
So we'll be careful not to give the commentators curse.
No,
Some of the Azzurri fans won't love us if they then bomb one down that line and Amos cuts in and weaves her magic. There's Neil now with the throw, and Lucas heads it forward. Strong contact again. Fraser wins out. Threaded forward, looking for Witt. She's absolutely flying out on the right. Gets inside. Lana Kearney and Sophie Stapleford tracks back and pushes it over the byline. And now a corner for Azzurri in the southwestern corner here at Cook Square Park. Is this the moment the Azzurri fans have been waiting for? It'll be Togo Paragili to deliver. Tell you what, I know it's fresh here, but I'm just looking at Northern New South Wales photographer Grant Sproul. You'd think we're at the snow.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. He's definitely got the most clothes a human being could wear, I would say.
A lot of layers on there. It's like, I'll come back to that as Togo Paragili hits it in and falls dangerously. It ends up spinning out amongst all of them, and the referee says goal kick. He's like that guy that's got too much luggage at the airport.
Yeah.
And he's just had to throw on all 5 layers of jackets so that he could his luggage gets underweight and he can get on the plane.
That's it. Doesn't want to pay the extra baggage.
That fits for Sprouley, I reckon.
Yeah.
Opportunity here. Nice little challenge in the box. Williams has added a nice spark since she's come on. Annabella Thornton. Martin with the header. Now they work forward again. Azzurri Lucas trying to get forward, but Will O'Neill steps in, as she has all evening. Azzurri with the throw. Georgia Brown. She's got Lucas in front, and that's where she goes. Lucas does well to feint out, lofts it into the box, not quite where she's aiming. Fraser does well to get a header. Gallegos couldn't get a tight turn, drags a player down. Referee says play on. Ball driven out of the box by Kearney. She finds end swing. Fraser takes it away.
Maitland are playing in a really tight block now. It's really hard for Charlestown to get the ball in there.
Just trying to maybe force Azzurri to go round rather than through, because, as we said, Gallegos was starting to find some nice lanes through and opportunities to get in behind. Take the throw here, and Vitnall pushes it across. Stapleford collects it. Not quite the clearance she was looking for. Neither is that. Falls for Gallegos. She takes a strike and spinning up and just over the crossbar. I don't know if that's a shot she was trying to conjure, but it nearly worked out.
Nearly. Just needed to get over the ball a little bit, but that was pretty tight with that angle. But there has been a few balls going up just over the bar, hitting the net.
Certainly has. It's a couple falling on the roof of the net so far, but Maddie Gallegos getting a few more chances. Maitland will want to be careful because she's going to make them pay at some stage if they can continue to allow her space and free reign. Lana Kearney drives it forward for Enswing. Enswing turns away from the support. Tracks it forward, looking in behind for Stapleford. That's a wonderful ball. Stapleford cuts into the box, pushing the pressure on Martin, though, who takes it away and sees it over just shy of the corner flag for a throw.
Yeah, that was a great ball and a great run as well. Get them into the box.
Throw for Enswing, pushes it back. Crossed in hard and flat. Seen away with a strong header, and the Magpies will have another throw. Through Kearney. Enswing again, tracking there. Witts does well to take it away. A nice turn from Williams. Looking for Fraser, overhits it. Lucas comes back in for it, trying to feed the ball down to Witts. Comes back and recovers. Gallegos is there, gets a header away. No support though, and Serena Carter lobs it forward towards Mary Enswing. Enswing and Stapleford, a nice 1-2. They've got a nice little combination building there. Optimistic threaded cross, and players going down and tangling up, and we continue on. Gallegos uses the head, brings it down, tangled up there. That one could have gone either way. It goes against Nenardovic. Azzurri will have a free kick on almost right on halfway. Thought Alyssa Togo Paragilli was going to throw that to Mary Enswing then.
Yeah.
I think she went to, thought it was a teammate, then realised, oh, better not give it to her. Danny Bartels to come up just inches on the defensive side of halfway. I saw this before when she came up and it nearly spilled the wrong way. She'll have to be alert in tracking back if she doesn't find a target here. She lofts it into the box dangerously. Witts is there. Takes an air swing though. And that just sums up Azzurri's night so far, doesn't it?
It was on. Perfectly placed kick. Good run. Just didn't quite get the touch on that one.
Sophie Stapleford trying to make a breaking run here. Gosner drives it down looking for end swing, but Togo Paragilli, as she has been all evening, is there to break it up. Now Azzurri trying to range forward with Lucas. Lucas more interested rather than pursuing the ball in turning to debate the nature of it with the referee. Yet to see a player come off a winner with a debate with the referee about a decision they've made.
Yeah, surely not.
Opportunity now for Maitland to try and play forward. But again, they're there. The defence of Azzurri. This falls for Witts. Gallegos sneaking into the box, but Will O'Neill's back there and parries it across the sideline. Charlestown just turning up the tempo a little bit here as we progress through the second half.
Yeah, you feel that they've got a bit more space and time in front of the goal. Just had a few more chances than Maitland, and Maitland are now just stuck in their block, making it a little bit harder to get forward as fast as they were.
Get away with that one, and they will get the goal kick here. Thornton directs the team to the right. Just going to drive this long, not playing it out this time. Enswing gets a boot to it, but Fraser pushing forward now, driven long by Carter. Stapleford, can she get the bounce? It sits up a little higher than she might have locked. The referee says play on after the two players tangle. Now they try and go the other way with Witts. Kenny just happy to push it across the line, nice and composed. And
I think she was trying to go for the free kick. I think she probably should have just gone for the ball. Could have held it up for support.
You know, a double change here. Got Georgia Amos coming off and Gawthrop as well. And we'll see Paige Kingston Hogg come on. Former A-League player makes her return to Maitland. And also coming on in 22 is Georgia Williams. Kingston Hogg, a welcome addition back into this side to bolster Maitland on their run home. Shot from range, Maddie Gallegos. That was optimistic.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of frustration not getting some shots off, so thought she'd take the opportunity.
Carter, Gallegos with a tackle well away from everything, and we're going to come back for the challenge from Witts. Kenny just conferring with Carter to see who's going to take it. Kenny slices underneath that one. Gallegos challenging here. Kenny goes into Witts and the ball off Witts last. I feel this is just the heat in this one slowly turning up a little bit, Alana. It's a few players getting a little bit more frustrated as it goes on.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit scrappy the last sort of few minutes. Big challenges getting in.
Inside the final 18 and a half minutes here at Cook Square Park as Sophie Stapleford drives forward. Is it going to be a piece of individual brilliance from someone like Stapleford, or maybe a Morgan Witts that might break this open? So we're going to see another change from Azzurri. Kyra Dickey with a player to come on, likely at the next stoppage you'd expect. Kenny beaten. They come away with it. Now they feed it forward. Stapleford gets to the outside here in a foot race. Good strong tackle there from Holly Vittnell, but it will be a corner for Maitland. And they've shown some danger from the set piece. What can they find here?
Yeah, just Charlestown are just holding them, aren't they? They're holding them on the line. Can't quite get in the box, but this is a good opportunity for Maitland.
Maitland commit 4 inside the box. 3 on the line now with the keeper. End swing out. Somehow, Danny Bartels ended up on the ground there. I think she might a little bit of theatrics just to point out to the referee that a space was being challenged, what she thought was unfairly. Wouldn't be the first time a keeper's done that.
It might happen maybe, every corner, do you think?
Yeah, just get the referees on side, let him know that, I'm being unfairly targeted here, just in case anything goes amiss. And you've got to utilise what you've got to your disposal. Nenadovich now over the corner. Well, waited in at the near post, but as Azzurri up to the task, Nenadovich comes back. Will she cross it in again? Yes, she does. At the back post, but it fizzes through and away from everyone. Gosta looked like she wasn't far away, but couldn't get to it. I think Serena Carter coming off. And it will be Charlotte O'Connor going on while it's Kyra Dickey. So the 2 number 2s going on.
Changing the back line for Maitland.
Kyra Dickey replaces Holly Vittnell, who's been strong for Azzurri. Interesting to see a change coming in the back line in this one when it's deadlock still at 0-0.
Yeah.
This one's fed forward for Georgia Williams.
A big call for Joe Wright.
Yes, the joys of being a coach, a role you know too well. You make the change and it unlocks something, all of a sudden you're a genius. It unlocks something the wrong way though, and people are questioning your sanity.
That's it.
Who'd be a coach?
Exactly.
And Connor with a touch. Goes across to Gosner. As you can see the fog settling in here, and the ball lofted forward here. Gallegos clearly offside. Even she didn't try to sell that she wasn't. I smell the wood fires from the houses around too. That smells like it'd be much nicer to be sitting by maybe than the chill here.
So we get the smell, just not the warmth.
No, that's all right. We've got the warmth of the excitement of this game that's continuing out into a tight arm wrestle, a tussle between the top two sides in the NPL Women's. They played out a League Cup battle only a couple of weeks ago, which Azzurri came out on top of 3-2. 2 months ago, they clashed in a league, which Maitland were comprehensive winners at Lyallcart 3-0. Not many that would have predicted that we'd get through 75-odd minutes without a goal here. Both these sides known for their scoring prowess, but it's been the defence that's come to the fore tonight.
Yeah, much like the first half, they just haven't quite got forward, either team. A few more shots for Charlestown, to be fair.
Not sure that's quite what Lana Kearney was looking for, and she'll get a chance for a do-over because it's gone back across the sideline at almost the same spot. Updated Alder Park with 8 minutes remaining. Newlanton leading 2-1 over Newcastle Olympic. Still in the balance though. Now Williams. That's Brianna Williams in the blue jersey. All of a sudden a little bit of confusion here, but Gosner got back there. Cleared it towards the byline, but didn't go over. And all of a sudden an opportunity. Witts creates something, but Nanadovic's going to clear it. Dickey tried for something acrobatic there, and swing, and Togo Paragilli going toe-to-toe. Azzurri defender comes out on top. Witts again, looking to feed it in for Gallegos. Tracking back O'Connor, putting pressure on her. They pop it back for Witts again. She swings wide for Martin. Martin tries to cross it in. It comes off a defender and skims up nicely. A friendly bounce for Annabella Thornton, but that's much more promising for Azzurri. They're turning up the tempo here.
That's a good passionate play by Azzurri. Maitland just had a few numbers back. We were able to scramble and get the ball away, but there's some promising stuff there from Charlestown.
Yeah, Enswang. She's got Stapleford in front of her if Stapleford can hold on side. Enswang's dispossessed, though, by Georgia Brown. Chelsea Lucas swings it out wide. Kyra Dickey clattered into, and the referee says play on. They came together over the ball, and he says that the Maitland player has come away with the ball. Well, the Maitland player showing a little bit of concern, and so Azzurri decide just to kick it out and have a physio come on for a look at Kyra Dickey, who has not long been on the field.
Yeah, that'll be unfortunate. Hopefully it's just a bit of a cork. Just be able to get up.
Fingers crossed nothing too major. Good chance for the players to catch their breath. It's been a fairly frenetic tempo the last few minutes as we head towards the last 10 here at Cook Square Park in this top of the table battle, and very little separating the two sides. You feel at the moment Azzurri just have the slight upper hand. They've created a couple more chances in this second half. It was Maitland creating the chances a bit more in the first half, but Azzurri have managed to diffuse that here, and since they brought on the first set changes in Brianna Williams, they've just been able to get that little bit of a spring step going and create a couple of half chances, but not able to finish. And interestingly, they still have a former Matilda sitting on their bench.
Yeah, well, that's a good position for them to be in. But yeah, I agree. They just are looking more likely to go forward, likely to have shots. All they need is some kind of touch to get the ball in the net. They've done everything else.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, yeah, that's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do. Just tap it into the back of the net.
You know, small ball, big goal. Yeah. That's all you need.
I was going to say you're sounding like Happy Gilmore until you said small ball, big goal. He's got visions of some of the strikers here just asking the ball if it's too good for its home. But
yeah,
that's what it feels like a little bit. Two sides with plenty of attacking prowess, yet able to mark the score sheet. Kearney threads the ball into the midfield, looking for Kingston Hogg. She couldn't quite get a boot on it. Now it tracks back Gallegos, and O'Connor gets, I think it was a shoulder to the ball in the end. They lob it forward. Maitland hit and hope, it appears. Both players losing sight of the ball there for a moment. They come away with it now. Azzurri down the left. Now Williams steps back in, but there's no one in the middle of their attack looking for that. And it's picked off quite easily. Kingston Hogg now. A nice little touch to take it away from Fraser. And then she's bamboozled herself. And all of a sudden, the ball turns the other way. Gallegos tries to come away with it. Fighting tooth and nail over the ball. Maddie Gallegos. Now Gosner rides her back and Gallegos earns the free. But the referee also seems to have some calming words for Maddie Gallegos.
Well, there just weren't many options for Maitland. Everyone was kind of running away from the ball. There was no one running into space for her to pass and tripped herself up, unfortunately. So here we go. Here's a good opportunity again for Charlestown.
A prime chance for Charlestown. Is this where we see the deadlock finally broken? You also wonder at what point this game gets to where the coaches start thinking about not pushing too hard forward, chasing 3 points versus conceding 3 points.
Yeah.
Fraser lofts this into the box, looking for Witt. She gets ahead to it, but can't get clean contact. It spills out dangerously. Gallegos pokes it through, and it's deflected into the back of the net. And finally, Azzurri score. Maddie Gallegos gets her 12th of the season. And they're quite up and about. They're in raptures here, but the job is not done yet, Azzurri.
Yeah, that's it. She's in the right place. Only a small touch in the back of the net.
Annabelle Thornton did well, got a hand to it, but it just skewed away under her arm and deflected into what is the bottom left corner for the attacker. And as we said before, Maddie Gallegos will eventually make you pay if you start letting her loose on loose balls in the box, and she did exactly that with her 12th of the season. And now Maitland backs against the wall. What can they come up with here? As it sits live on the ladder, only goal difference determines first and second. Is Azzurri on top on goal difference at the moment. Crowd coming to life here at Cook Square Park. Neal crossing into the box. Enswang heads it on, just off target. That's, again, a little more promising. Some spark we haven't seen for a while from Maitland, as that goal just sparked them to life. Into the final 8 minutes here. And Joe Wright will go to his bench again.
Will he make the right call? That's the question.
Well, the question is, does the call determine it? That's the other one. It's always interesting to see what the impact a change can make. I have to expect that it might be Julia Innes that'll come on now, and if my maths is correct, it'll be their last change in rotation as our camera position gets peppered with that ball. Yeah, Martin Williams appeals for the throw to go their way, and the assistant referee agrees. Chloe Martin goes along with the throw. Maddie Gallegos, Witts, pokes it forward, looking for Williams again. O'Connor tracking back, plays it into the body, and it'll be shepherded across the line by Kearney. Now Maitland go the long throw. Dickey out muscles and swing. O'Connor, sorry, that's Kearney. Just misses that one. Witts now looked across it into the box, and Kearney blocks it. We'll have a corner. Maitland's change will wait. Interesting to see with this change for Joe Wright whether he does go attack looking for a share of the points, or whether he just tries to shore up the defence and hope that they can break on the counter to get one back. You should feel this late in the game, if they were to concede a second, it's going to be nigh impossible to turn it around. This one driven in from the corner. Comes down at the front post. And they're going to say the ball's gone over the byline, and it will be a corner.
There's a great corner there. Great take.
Williams has been a danger since she's come on. She's going to get another shot over the corner here. They've got the height advantage in the box. Thornton gets up, gets two hands to it, and then brings it down for herself. It's been strong, Annabelle Thornton, on a number of occasions. That looked like a collision after the fact. Togo Paragilli, probably the first blemish on her record for the evening. Going to have a change here. Josie Morley's going to come off. Solid outing for her. It's going to be Sophie Jones coming on. It looks like they're going to push another number forward. Push for a share of the points. Enswing chasing hard here, looking for Stapleford if she can find her. The referee says play on after the collision. There's been plenty of collisions and plenty let go. Kingston Hogg fighting toe-to-toe with Williams. Williams does well. It's broken up though. Sophie Stapleford. Nanardovic now. Kingston Hogg threads the ball, looking for a run from Williams. And Nanardovic again plays it back for O'Connor. Cross for Gosner, who drives it long for Williams, but she was facing the wrong way, and Brown will just shepherd this across the sideline. Time ticking away for Maitland. Will it be a repeat of the League Cup final with Azzurri a 1-goal winning margin? Well, that'd be a split. Both teams having lost their league games at the opponent's venues, at their own venues, sorry. So winning away from home. Now it's played forward here. Stepping in and playing it forward. Now Witts racing down. Can she get it past Thornton? She taps it away. Can she get the shot on? Well defended again. Racing back. Getting the job done. Maitland, Charlotte O'Connor, the change comes on and gets back there. It looked almost certain to be a second goal for Azzurri.
Yeah, great work. Witts has got some pace, managed to get around the keeper, but Maitland on a couple of occasions now, when the keeper's beaten, is still stopping the ball getting in. So well done there from the back line.
Testament to that defence. Only 8 goals conceded during the regular season so far. This is their 12th game. Can Charlestown Azzurri make that 9 and double their lead here? Williams over the corner. She's been very accurate with the delivery. Raking ball comes in, headed down, headed away for the time being, but not out of the box. Williams over it again. Crosses it away from goals. Hunter couldn't get up to it, and Kingston Hogg gets across to it. Sorry, that's Jones out there at the moment. Jones now threading it forward, looking for end swing. Parried across the sideline by Azzurri. Animated coaching box from Azzurri, screaming for their defenders to track back. They know Maitland's going to try and turn the screws here and find an equaliser. They can't control that pass though, and it goes over the sideline. Inside the final 2.5 minutes of regulation time. No fourth official, so we'll be left guessing as to the stoppage time. It'll be at the discretion of the referee. Driven forward. More hope than ambition from Maitland at this stage. O'Connor tracking back. Clubs it forward towards the sideline, and Lucas watches it go across. Azzurri know that they just need to control possession here. Only a matter of minutes till the full-time whistle, as the temperature continues to drop here at Cook Square Park. Witts pushing forward, trying to free up Gallegos. O'Connor under pressure now. Gallegos wins out. Gosner gets forward and gets it away. Now driven into the box. Kearney goes up for it, as does Witts, but neither of them come away. Thornton gets it and goes quickly on the counter. Dickey trying to cut it down. Stapleford. The Azzurri throw. Last touch coming off Stapleford, the Maitland captain. Martin will take the throw. Full time at Alder Park, and New Lambton Golden Eagles extend the gap between 3rd and 4th with a 2-1 win over Newcastle Olympic. Now Paige Kingston Hogg pushing forward. Dropping it back into the pocket for Gosner. As forward. But it's turned over on halfway.
Maitland have just struggled to find their combinations, find their runners in the midfield into the attack. They're just, particularly in the second half, very structured in the back, but kind of loses momentum as they're going forward.
And they just haven't quite been the same side in the second half. Azzurri have been all over them. Azzurri appealing for a foul there, but referee again happy to let it go. Maitland continue to push forward here. And Fraser need to be careful there, hanging on to the jersey. Williams set loose. Again, just rushing that pass into the box. Falls fortunately for them. Looks like Nenardovic just appears to have been sniped. She came away hobbling after that, no one near her. Regulation time all but up here as another physical challenge goes in and the referee lets it continue on. Into stoppage time. At the referee's discretion, Maitland need an answer. Threaded forward looking for Stableford but picked off again.
Well read.
Hunter up to the task, feeds it down the line looking for Gallegos. She taps it around the outside, can't keep it inbounds though, and O'Connor will have the throw here. Maitland will need to go the length here in stoppage time to take a share of the points. Otherwise, they will relinquish top spot on the ladder for the time being to the visitors. Maitland go long with the throw, looking for Stableford. Martin gets a boot in. Gallegos, a little sand wedge of a shot into the middle. Headed forward, end swing now. Can she conjure some individual brilliance? Sophie Stableford racing back. Cuts inside of Martin. Cuts back against her. Beautiful close control. Feeding it into end swing. She gets it, but the touch is heavy. Takes her away from goal. She beats one. Tries to thread it into the box. Sophie Stableford can't quite get hold of it, and you feel that might have been Maitland's chance. Quality opportunity, but just not the control they needed.
Agonisingly close. Just that touch, yeah.
Can't be long left now. Time ticking down. Charlestown managing the clock. Martin takes the throw. Williams. She's added a real spark since she's come on. Kingston Hogg closes it down. I heard correct, the referee just suggested about 30 seconds remaining. Jones. Chips it forward for end swing. Togo Paragilli back there as she has been all night. Clears it away. This is last chance saloon for the Magpies. Now end swing. Plays it back. Stableford under pressure. Continues on. Threads it into the box. Not quite dealt with end swing. Gets a half-hearted shot away, but it goes wide of the goals. And that is full time. Azzurri celebrate. You would think this match had a little bit more riding on it, but what it does mean is Azzurri go back to top of the ladder, and 3 games in a week, no worries for Charlestown. They march into enemy territory and land the blow. I remind everyone they're not chasing, they are coming, and they are in this title race. A 1-0 win thanks to a Maddie Gallegos goal sees Azzurri go back to the top of the ladder. Alana, what stood out for you in that clash?
Oh, look, I think it was a tight match. I think both teams came out and played sort of similar. They had their defence. I think their back lines did a fabulous job, and goalkeepers, which meant that it was a really tight match for the whole time. I think in the second half, Azzurri just showed that they have class up in their front third and managed to really sneak one past them, but they did have other probably more opportunities. So I'd probably give it to obviously Azzurri in the second half deserved that, but yeah, it was a great match for match of the round this week.
Certainly was. It'll be interesting to see what comes over the final 7 rounds of the season as these teams continue to march forward towards, undoubtedly, you would expect some sort of clash heading either into or in the final series. As I said, they will play again in round 21, and it could all land on that game as to who finishes on top of the ladder. But for now, it is Charlestown Azzurri sitting at top of the ladder on goal difference, and it is going to be a tight race home over these final 7 rounds. A big thank you from us for your company this evening from Cook Square Park. And don't forget, every NPL men's and women's match across our Northern New South Wales competitions is live and free on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube channel, week in and week out. Signing out on behalf of myself, Chris McPherson, and Alana Neve. We'll catch you next time for more of the best in local football.